Hello and welcome to Preacher to Teacher. My name is Terry, and we are thrilled that you decided to join us. Like I'd shared in our last video, this is a radically different format, and we're excited to be able to talk to current and former students. We'll also be talking to teachers. So that way, this channel is not just about teachers talking to teachers, but teachers having conversations with students and also with teachers, and hopefully, we'll all become better at what we do in the classroom together. So I'm excited today to have Quest Rogers, one of my former students, now a part of the United States Air Force. So Quest, welcome. Thanks for joining the channel.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. So let's begin a little bit. You and I have spent some time talking about the challenges of going from small town to Air Force.
Yes, sir.
In what ways did high school prepare you for the Air Force, and what ways didn't it prepare you for the Air Force?
I'd definitely say the social aspect. So understanding people upon meeting them, understanding kind of who they are, introducing some of your own ideas, and trying to take back or trying not to project any kind of prejudice on anybody upon meeting them the first time. Because being in a small town, there's a lot of that. But being in the military has taught me a lot about just being open to new experiences and meeting new people, and how our military, the U.S. military, is completely created upon the idea that our individuality as people is what keeps us the number one military in the world.
Cool. If you had to talk to either a high school student or a teacher on what we can do to better prepare students for the military, is there anything that would come to mind?
Well, the first thing that would come to my mind was try to inform students about getting credit cards.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of friends in the dorms who are struggling with debt. So that would be one, but I would say
So don't get credit cards.
correct.
Okay.
Debt is you don't need that when you're a brand new airman or brand new sailor. But one of the big things I would say is just helping young students to understand that things are going to change. Their lives are going to be completely fluid. It's one of the big parts of the military is the fluidity that you're going to face every day. Your job that you could have one day could be completely different the next day, and that might not have anything to do with your ability or your skills, but just the way that the U.S. needs you, or just the way that the world needs you. And so I would voice to students that it is okay to for things to not go the way you want them to immediately. It's okay to go through a couple of experiences that you didn't think you would ever have, because those experiences are what are going to make you stronger.
Cool. Thank you, Quest. As you look back to the classroom, when you think about things that you remember, are there any things that you do remember from the classroom, and why do you think you remember those particular things?
Absolutely. So one of the big things that I remember that I still think about all the time whenever I hear the phrase is "you matter." I think about that phrase almost every Friday. Something you would repeat every Friday to us, and it was a comforting statement that I think a lot of my class, now being out of high school, going out into college, going out into workforce and the military, it's something that you don't hear often, especially coming from someone who lives hundreds of miles away from their family, whether it be somebody living in a dorm in college far, far away, or somebody on a military base far away. The comfort of knowing that they matter is extremely important and is something that cannot be stated enough.
Cool. Any tools that teachers used in the classroom that you resonated with? Any teaching tools? Any teaching styles that stick out to you?
One of the things that I know a lot of students don't like, but helped me significantly in the military, is public speaking. Public speaking, having a voice, learning to use your voice effectively is incredibly important in the workforce. If not only for presentations, for understanding how to present yourself, how to vocalize what you want whenever you're talking to somebody. Interviews, public speaking helps immensely. Whenever I was in FBLA, that was my event in FBLA, the interview section, and I really sucked at it back then. But going through the military and going through some of those classes, I understand that public speaking and being comfortable with your voice and what you're saying is extremely important.
Interesting. That's interesting. In our last video, we were talking about the role of public speaking and social anxiety, and so to hear your perspective is quite a bit different than that. So that's interesting. I'll have to mess with that a little bit in my head.
Absolutely.
So very cool. Um, is there anything that you wish teachers would know? Like you have, if there were hundreds, there probably won't be hundreds today, but however many teachers watch this video, if you could say there's one thing that I wish teachers knew about what it's like to be a high school student that you're not sure that they know, is there anything that you would like to tell them?
Yeah, of course. I would say one thing is I know a lot of teachers understand this from the beginning is that their students are going through things at home that they probably couldn't imagine. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of things, a lot of people who go to school, and that's probably the best part of their day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say to teachers, just making sure that their students are that they're okay. One of the big things that I was not expecting in the military that I'm extremely grateful for is our supervisors. Our supervisors, my sergeant, uh, they they don't just treat you like an employee. My supervisor texts me every day and asks
Mm-hmm.
how I'm doing, and
That's
asks if
cool.
I'm okay. Uh, he, whenever I came down to this side of Florida, he every step of the way during the travel, he's asking me, "Hey, where'd you stop for lunch? Hey, how are you doing? How's the
Hmm.
ride?" And so that's incredibly
Hmm.
important. Um, having those support foundations uh, of people who have authority, not exactly authority, but have a sort of role to play in that sense,
Hmm.
is incredibly important to know that they care about you. And so
Cool.
for teachers, I would say that's definitely the big thing is understanding that their students, they have things going on, and you know, they need to they need to be there to help these students develop.
Cool. I love it. Love it. So, is there any question that you'd like to ask of me as your former teacher, or anything that you'd like to know?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know my school year, I had you for government economics.
Hmm.
Is there anything that you would ever be interested in teaching other than those two?
Other than government or economics? Uh, well, it would in social sciences,
Hmm.
sure. I mean, um, for me, the thing that I love most about government and economics is that I get to hang out with seniors,
Hmm.
and the you guys are further along on the intellectual, social, and cognitive development scale. So we're able to have a maturity and depth of conversation, and I can hear some parents saying maturity and depth of conversation, and my answer is yes. You can have those with your students, right, or your kids, and that you don't get like in middle school
Absolutely.
or. And as far as other subjects, you know, I enjoy science, but not at a level of teaching it.
Hmm.
It's more of a hobby than teaching. But yeah, anything that's history related, I could teach. But um, I love the interaction with seniors as much as I love government and economics.
Yes, sir.
So, any other questions?
Um, I can't think of anything.
Okay. I think that's part of. It's an interesting question because um, at our school, one of our uh, high school teachers is going to be going to middle school,
Hmm.
and somebody was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and he said, "No, this is a good thing. I like middle schoolers, and I think it's cool that my wife does middle school for ESE support, and it's neat that we all have different gifts and abilities and interests, and we connect to and resonate with different age groups, and so that's an awesome thing. And when administration can utilize those gifts in creative ways and is able to position people in their best positions, that's a really cool thing for the teacher. Even better thing for the students when teachers are connecting to kids they really resonate with. So Um, yeah.
Absolutely. It's definitely an interesting stigma around teaching younger children, especially considering that it's not like those years of development are any less valuable.
Hmm.
Um, I understand that there is more that comes with that, more on the discipline side
Hmm.
of the house. But for teachers, I mean, it's probably pretty important to get both sides of it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah. It's funny because like kindergarten, elementary teachers will look at me and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You got to deal with
Right.
seniors," and I'm like, "Ugh, I'm so sorry. You got to deal with little kids."
Exactly.
And so, I mean, I love the older classes,
Hmm.
and you know, and it's cool that different people have different gifts, different interests, and can thrive in those different
Yes, sir.
environments. So, any anything else related to what we can do in the school for to get kids ready for the military? Anything else that rings in your mind?
To get kids ready for the military. I think the military is one of those things where it'll prepare you itself.
Okay, cool.
However, um, I think a big thing uh, with kids in high school looking into going into the military, they definitely need to understand the military is not just a career; it is a lifestyle change. No matter what branch you go into, no matter what job you go into, your life will alter drastically. It's not like working at a Winn-Dixie, like a summer job or being a lifeguard, where you just, you think about that job for the summer, or you think about, oh, I need to, when I go back to work, I gotta do this, or whenever your problems in the military they will follow you home.
Hmm.
And so that's something that people that hits them pretty hard whenever they join first. Is that work in the military is no longer becomes work; it becomes your life. So for a lot of new military members, that's one of the biggest struggles that they have.
Cool. Wes, thank you for your service. Thank you for sacrifice. I know it's been a massive adjustment for you,
Yes, sir.
but we thank you for what you're doing for us and keeping America safe. So, look, folks, if you enjoyed this content, if you enjoy hearing from students and learning from the real, transparent experiences of students, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And if there is a topic that you would like us to address, if there's a post high school student who is engaged in a particular field that you would like us to interview on how we can better prepare students for those things, or if there's a subject matter in the life of current students you'd like us to talk about, make sure you put that in the comment section, and I'll make sure that we get that scheduled as soon as possible. Thanks for joining us. Want to remind you, as always, you matter, and what you do matters. Thanks so much, and have a great day.